I'm going to show you a game I've been working on here. It's called the Isle of Polm. I'm using 3D Game Studio. It's actually in the end product, it's actually going to be an online multiplayer game. You know, there's a lot of sayings out there saying that, 99% of these projects fail, and that is true, but I've been working on this for about 5 or 6 years now, and I'm using external DLL files for the multiplayer functionality of it, and it's working out pretty good. But I'll show you what I have here up to now. Let's just run this. I'm going to run into an error here with the initial model that I threw in. I didn't have time to edit it. Let's press OK here. I have a MySQL database, or MySQL database, that has all the information of the world. So this is kind of like the morning time. You see the moon. Birds are chirping. Here's the house that I kind of threw in just to show you one of the features that I have in my game. See, the character has something in her hand. You can actually change that throughout the inventory system that I'm still working on. This is not complete, but basically you can have multiple items in each slot. You just click on that. It comes up with a pop-up window. You can get more information on that. I also coded in the other night repairing of damaged items. Repair it up here. Damage will go down to 0. Quality will drop a little bit. And if you go back, it's all fixed up. So I'll show you some of the other features I have too. Close this. Okay, so since this is not like a huge world, it's somewhat large. When the character runs around, you'll see when they cross over a certain zone, it'll keep loading the foliage for the terrain. That foliage also is in the MySQL database. All that data is held there. It looks like I'm seeing where it's loading, so I can actually go to my options here and make sure that this is set to maximum. Just double check. My settings are not perfected at this point, but I'm getting there. So you'll see that the foliage is loading up there. So like you can keep on running across the terrain here, and it's going to keep on updating itself. Trees have somewhat of an animation motion here. Let me show you some of the other effects features that I have so far. Let me show you terraforming in the game. The character wants to create their own little world, their own little town, kind of customize it. What they can do is they can activate their shovel, and they're going to come up with markers like these. These markers are going to show you how high the terrain is at that point. This is 603, 603, 603, 603. If we wanted to change that, all we have to do is click on that. We can raise or lower it. Let's just go to raise, and you'll see that we're actually, it says digging, it should actually be raising. Let's raise it again. And you'll notice that this is 605, 603, 606, and we're just changing the actual terrain height here. And players will be able to do that. They'll be able to get some resources from around the world, change the terrain to meet their needs for their village or their town they want to make. And this is kind of, I think this is pretty cool here. Not many games have the terraforming feature in it. The way I coded it should not give the server much lag at all. You'll see there's a big, little hump there. Might not be able to see it with the video. About 609 cores. Let me show you the other one I have. The other feature I have in here is the weather system. I'm kind of forcing the weather. It's not going to work very well. But let's just start off with maybe a hurricane. Here's my hurricane I just activated. You'll see the funnel cloud. The alpha on that's not perfected. I'm going to have to go back and redo that. But the hurricane's going to come off of the ocean there and basically just randomly run across the terrain. With that, it's always going to be in the same spot on every client machine. I coded it to tell its position and its vector. You hear the thunder in the background. See the trees going nuts. also coated in lightning. Lightning will come out of the sky, and when it hits, what's that funnel cloud out? That funnel cloud's still making its way across the shore there. When the lightning hits, it's going to leave a mark similar to this. It will actually make an indentation into the land. This is when I was testing. I just made it strike the same spot maybe 30 times, so that's why there's a big hole here. That's from a previous load. Anytime I terraform or anytime the game's up and people are terraforming, all this information is going to be saved to the MySQL database. And that way, the next time the player logs in, they'll actually get that update. You'll notice here the terrain kind of changes. I'm going to go across the zone here. The terrain will change its shade, and that's telling me that it's now terraformed with an updated terraform data file. So there, it just changed there, if you can see that. Another feature, too, I have. You'll see the sky's turning black because of, we have a hurricane coming towards my house. It's on a random path. I can't control it at this point. Although I'd like to have maybe the GMs or the developers be able to control that later. So let me show you an example here of what I was talking about the house. So it's raining outside. You can see that. It's pretty bad. We can actually go inside the house structure and see that it's not raining inside. Yet you can look out the window. Don't mind the tree there. I just randomly placed this house. You can look out the window and, you feel a little bit of a sense of security here because, you're not getting all wet outside. Yet you can look out your front door, your window, and it's pouring down rain. There's a hurricane. I don't see the hurricane out there right now. I don't know if you saw that. There was a lightning strike right there. Well, lightning strikes, it leaves a huge mark in the ground. Also, there's like a huge explosion coming off of the terrain. I wish I could show you that. You'd just have to see that later. So, the game's still in working progress here. As you see, I have my camera functions. You can also, I'll show you what else you can do here. If you're not satisfied with the third-person view, you can go into the first-person view. And there's no way you can actually look behind other objects. You'll see that I'm trying to roll the camera into the house, and it's just not working. So I have a collision on the camera, too, to sense where it's at. There's my little hurricane. Of course, got the jump. I got a kind of sneak feature. You can sneak up. Hopefully there's going to be some bushes and stuff when people do raids and they attack each other. They're actually going to be able to use this feature to hide. As the player gets armor, it's going to start showing up on the player. That would be my niece. Hold on 1 second. That was my niece. Anyway, so the player can sneak around